Hey everybody, it's Angel, and today is Wisdom Wednesday. And I know it's been a while since we've done one of these because of camp and all the excitement that goes on with that. But this morning, I want to do something. I actually spoke on this at camp, but there was a lot more to it that I didn't have the opportunity to bring out. But the Lord had given me a message, and I feel like someone needs to hear it this morning. And it applied to the girls that we had devotion with at camp, but it also is going to apply to each and every one of you out there today. Not just the child of God, but to those of you that may not have accepted the Lord as your personal Savior yet. And I really hope that this reaches out and touches someone today. So we're going to read just a verse of scripture here in Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12. And I titled this message, the Lord had given me a title, and I titled it, The Struggle is Real. And that's something that we say all the time, or I do, and I say, the struggle is real. But do we actually know what the real struggle is? So Paul says here in Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12, For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So Paul was saying the struggle is not, against flesh and blood. It's not against the things that we think our struggle is really against. It is a spiritual battle. Now, our common enemy is Satan. And we've all heard this said a million times, I'm sure, that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And just like you and I have a purpose, Satan has a purpose. And his purpose is to steal, kill, and destroy. So what does that mean? Well, Satan he wants the exact opposite, of course, is what the Lord wants for us. He comes to steal our heart and kill our spirit and destroy our trust. Now, to understand how to fight his purpose, we got to grasp what he is seeking from us. So he seeks these things, our heart, our spirit, and our trust. And he seeks our heart because if he can get to your heart, he can get to your flesh. He seeks our spirit because if he can get to your mind, he can get to you. And he seeks our trust because if he can get your trust, destroy your trust, he can get your salvation and rob you from God. Now, why does he want your flesh exactly? Well, the flesh is the heart of sin. And our wants are not what the Lord... Okay, let me back up. Our wants are not what the Lord has for you until you are obedient to God. So, when you're lost in sin, we're trying to please ourselves and not please God. So our wants are not in line. But once you are walking in his purpose and walking in obedience, then they begin to line up. And that's when Psalms 37:4 takes an effect. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. And it's only then that can happen. Now, Satan knows, because he's smart, he knows the word better than we do. Satan knows that if he can get to you and get you to put you first and not God, he can do two important things. He can, one, divert your focus. And why would he want to do that? Because if your focus is on you, then you can't serve two masters. So if you're serving your flesh, you can't serve God. So by diverting the focus, he's only helping himself out. He is keeping you from the Lord. Now, the second important thing that he wants from this is he wants to separate you from others. Because if he can separate you from others, then you're not out trying to convert others to, Christianity, trying to share that gospel and rob him of his purpose. So it's kind of a twofold thing here. And he uses us, to do this. And if you look in Matthew chapter 7, it kind of talks about how we allow sin and pride and different things like that to develop and cause us to, maybe criticize others and create a division between each other, thus putting a wedge between you and God, and you and others, and God and others. So if the enemy can cause separation, that's just good for him. Now, why is pride such a bad thing? We always hear, take pride in your work. Well, you need to do a good job. But now pride consumes your flesh. So it's a real slippery slope. So don't let pride consume your flesh. If you look in Psalms 119, it talks about, how the proud has digged a pit for me. And pride is an oppressor. That's kind of what it's talking about there. Pride is an oppressor. So always remember that what you do and say and how you say it can affect others. So don't be digging pits for somebody today, just for them to get ensnared in, because you're letting Satan use you to get in between them and the Lord. Okay, hope that makes sense. So how can our pride hinder somebody? Now, I just am as guilty as anyone over this. Okay. Our words can hurt, and our feelings matter, and conceit kills. So I want you to really remember that today. Words hurt, feelings matter, and conceit kills. So you're thinking, well, Angel, what does that mean? Well, the Lord showed me that words do hurt. If you look at Psalms 120, it says that lies and deceitful tongues are for war. It's only going to cause strife and division. Now, feelings matter because those words can spark depression. And that's a pit. I've been there before. And conceit kills by not putting yourself under subjection to God. Because if you allow yourself to get a big head and think that you're something, you're not putting God at the top of the list. You're putting yourself. So don't allow your flesh to be used to attack someone. Okay? It will ultimately cause you to fall into that pit yourself. So why does he want your spirit? If the enemy can kill your spirit, attack your mind, he can enter into other areas of your life. And he can do it more easily. So how does he attack our spirit? Well, he starts at a young age, first of all. I can remember being a child and having all these struggles and going to church and seeing how people acted and things they said, and it hurt me. But another thing that we as adults can do to hinder the children is we say, we tell them, you're a child, you don't know anything, go sit down. And there is growing that needs to be done. But I'm going to tell you, the Lord can use children in a mighty way. Look at Jeremiah chapter 1. In Jeremiah chapter 1, in verse 7, and I have this somewhere. Okay. let's see here. But the Lord said unto me, say not, I am the child, for thou shalt go to all, and that I shall send thee, and whatsoever I command thee shall speak. So the Lord gives us all gifts and purpose, just like He can give a child gifts and purpose. Now there's some growing that needs to be done, but now you know what, that can be said for adults. And a lot of times children are more spiritually focused than the adults, because we allow all the things of the world to clutter us where the kids may not. So never try to oppress the kids, okay? Now, the enemy, he likes to attack our spirit through our families. And you know what? That's a whole other video right there. Our spirits can often be killed because the enemy allows attacks of our family to get into us. The enemy knows how to twist us, and a lot of times it's our family that can do that. So, like I said, that's a whole other video. I ain't getting into that today. And then Satan can use our bodies through illness and suffering to kill our spirit. And we can't allow these afflictions to prevail, okay? The afflictions that the enemy tries to put on you are for hindering your purpose. They are for, stopping and discouraging. But the Lord allows some of these things to happen to you so you can be stronger. And a lot of times what the enemy thinks is going to tear you down only makes you stronger. And I really feel like that's why the Lord allows some of these afflictions to happen to us. The Bible tells us in many places, and we all know this, that you will be persecuted for your faith. You will be made fun of. Your friends and family may not always get it. You're going to suffer tribulations and trials. I mean, the Lord tells us that. But Satan wants us to be so overcome with that we can't break through. So why does he use our families against us sometimes? First of all, he wants to kill the big design that God has planned for the families, because that's just how he is. He wants to cause confusion and loneliness and destruction of what God has ordained, the family. And he wants to kill your prayer life, because if we become consumed by pleasing our family instead of pleasing God, we lose that focus on the Lord. There's sometimes even in my life that I've been so concerned and so wrapped up in family drama that it has robbed me from that time with the Lord. So another reason why he wants to do this is he wants to damage you for later. Satan seeks to scar you and harden your heart against the witness, and he will use that to affect your witness to others and kind of jade you to the love of Christ. So why does he want, I'm moving kind of quickly here because this video is going to be long, but so why does he want to destroy your trust? This is one of the most important things to me anyway. The enemy, he wants to destroy your trust so he can get to your salvation. Without trusting in the Lord, you can't get where the Lord wants you to be. Okay? Without trusting that the Lord is the creator, that he is the Alpha and the Omega, that he is the healer, that he is the only way, that he is love. Without trusting in his word and all of those things that he says he is, we cannot have the faith that he alone can save us. In Hebrews chapter 1, it says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence not seen. Without that faith and without the building of it, you're going to have a very hard walk in this life, folks. I'm just going to tell you. So why is trust in the Lord so important? Well, first, trust brings about respect. It brings about a relationship. And then, of course, faith. If we have that respect aspect of it, we understand that He is everything and more that the Bible tells us He is. You know, just like I said, He is the Creator. He is the Alpha and the Omega. He is the way. He is the light. He is the truth, the bread of life, all of those things. Then we must have a personal relationship with Him, because your salvation you have to work out with fear and trembling. Okay? It's personal. It's one-on-one. Now, the faith, it takes faith. You have to believe that He loves you and that He wants the best, okay, for you. So how can we overcome this struggle? Number one, trust God. People change, things change, family changes, but God remains the same. The second thing, I want you to look at Psalms 119. Make a vow to the Lord, and I want you to keep it. Turn to Him and delay not. Even when you're in a pit, even at night, even when you see no light. Number 3, I want you to endure. If you go to 1 Chronicles 28, it tells us to seek Him with our whole heart. Seek the Lord, endure, and in prayer and in praise with Him all the time, and He will give you what you need to be equipped. And it is only by doing all of these things that we are able to put on that whole armor of God so that we can resist the attacks of the enemy. So the struggle is real. It is real. Satan has a purpose, and his purpose is to steal, kill, and destroy. But you need to understand, even though the struggle is real, my God is real. Your God is real. So trust and obey and let Him be the way to defeat Satan. Okay, so today, if you find yourself in a struggle and you're not a child of God, I encourage you today to turn to Him and let Him lead and guide you through it. I hope this touched someone today, and have a blessed day. Bye.